Jonas from the Hobart Tribe here. As always, I'm looking for health practitioners in the Eltham area. They can help people to live healthier. And when it comes to live healthier, I think it becomes so easy to start to chase a certain condition or problem. But really, if you're looking at the foundation of health, it's just a few pillars that you need to get right. Like you need to have a well-functioning nervous system. You need to have a well-functioning digestive system and immune system and hormone system. Like if you have those basics, if they're functioning really well, like you're not going to get sick. Your body's not going to break down. And the reason I want to bring on Rebeca here today
Hi.
is that she's absolutely superb when it comes to digestive health. So I thought we can just sort of pick your brain a bit regarding that.
Sure.
So maybe is there anything you want to share to start out with, like what's the important aspects of digestive health?
I think if you wanted to measure basic digestive health, like am I doing okay?
Yeah.
One of the things we look at, and as human beings we don't tend to like to talk about, is bowel motions. And so if you're having one normal, healthy, pain-free, easy, complete bowel motion a day, then you are doing really well. So it's 1 to 2 per day. Any less is not so good, and any more is not so good either, because you're not having enough bowel motions, so things are hanging.
What happens then? If it just
it's just a bit toxic, because they are things that are supposed to be excreted and removed from the body.
What's like on the other end of the scale? If it's too fast, it just flies through you. How does that affect your
Well, I find usually people are malabsorbing, so whatever the goodness that they're eating, they're not getting the benefits of that.
Oh yeah. Well, that makes lots of sense.
Yeah.
Anything else that we should think about in terms of digestive health? If you get the transit time just right, what's the next thing?
I think the next thing is really healthy bowel flora. So everyone talks about probiotics. There's heaps of ads on TV about probiotics. And what they're referring to, these little organisms, are the good bacteria that live in our large bowel or our large colon.
What happens if you don't have those? Like if you have really bad gut flora, what?
Yeah, well, if you have really bad gut flora, you'll probably know about it because you have a lot of bloating and gas, and that'll be evident because your tummy might be a bit distended, and you could have pain from it being distended. And unfortunately, antibiotics really poorly affect bowel flora. I went to a conference recently where they were talking about it, and we previously thought that if you supplemented with certain probiotic strains, that they would sort of take root, so to speak, in the colon, but that's not the case. Like once you've actually, if you have certain antibiotics can wipe out whole families and strains of particular probiotic organisms, and then once they're gone, and
so you can't get them back.
You can't get them back. Yeah.
So what do you do if that's you?
Well, some people do end up having to stay on maintenance probiotic therapy for a while if they've had a condition that means they've absolutely had to take a lot of antibiotics. But what I suggest to people is if you have to take antibiotics, take a probiotic at the same time, because it minimises the damage that the antibiotics will do to your bowel flora.
That's good. Well, there you go. So that's why I bring you on, because you go to these latest seminars and knows what's the latest information. So that's great. All right, great. So far we have that. It's really important with transit times. You have the right time to absorb your nutrients, and it's important to have the right gut flora so that can help you to digest and break down that food. Now, is anything else that's really important for digestive health?
I think the other thing that's really important for digestive health and is becoming a little bit more evident in the community are food intolerances. And there are different types. There are some called like fructose malabsorption, etc., but that's more of a carbohydrate issue, and that's to do with the large bowel and how good your bowel flora is. But the other kind is a different type of food intolerance, and it's a more sort of immune mediated. And what happens is a bit like how certain things can irritate your skin on the outside, like some people get dermatitis from things that their skin comes in contact with. The skin on the inside of you, like in your gut, can get irritated by certain foods and then become inflamed.
You said it's becoming more common. Why would people be more susceptible to get that inflammation now than before?
Oh, that's a really good question, and I don't know if I have the answer to it. I think I mean, there are more processed foods in our diet than there ever.
Very different.
Yeah, well, we I suppose we eat differently. More processed foods, less whole foods, probably more preservatives, more food colourings, more flavourings. Even agricultural practices have changed over time, so there are different varietals, and I would say there's probably less variety in general. So people have, eat a lot of wheat, for example. Like you ask them what they eat, and it's like wheat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I think maybe that's possibly behind it, but I can't give you a definitive answer about food intolerances.
So if you have a food intolerance, how do you go about getting over that, or
identifying it?
Or how do you deal with it?
Well, I think deal with it first. You've got to identify what your food intolerances are, and there's testing that you can do to do that. And then what I usually do with people is I withdraw the foods from the diet that are causing the most aggravation, and I withdraw them for a period of time, like not forever. And then I do work with them to restore the integrity of the gut, so to build it back up again, like you would with skin on the outside. You can heal it, and then you can start to reintroduce those foods really slowly back into the diet. Because I don't think people, if possible, should not be off a particular food forever if you can possibly help it. So that's what I do.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thanks a lot for your time. Been lots of good information. Looking forward to sending some people your way.
Thanks.